Over smoking a little bit of fucking weed? Is that what the fuck we're doing now?
Talking about? I didn't rat you
I knew I never
out.
should have fucking trusted
I didn't
you.
say anything.
Then what is she talking about?
Wait, were you doing drugs with Gia?
No!
Rue's addiction was never just about getting high. It was about trying to control the chaos inside her when everything else felt uncontrollable. From a young age, Rue was forced to confront emotions that most people never learn how to manage: grief, anxiety, and an overwhelming sense of loss after her father's death. The drugs weren't only an escape. They were her way of reclaiming some kind of power. When her world spun out, she could dictate how she felt, when she felt it, and how deeply she wanted to feel it. When she was anxious, she turned it down. When she was numb, she turned it up. It was a twisted sense of stability in a world that constantly reminded her she had none. Rue's addiction also represented rebellion, not against authority but against helplessness. She watched life happen to her, not for her. Drugs gave her the illusion of authorship over her own story, even as they erased her from it. Her control wasn't over her life, it was over her pain. When she used, she didn't have to feel powerless, abandoned, or misunderstood. That's why recovery was so terrifying for her. Sobriety meant facing the raw truth she'd spent years numbing. Her relationship with Jules further complicated this because love introduced vulnerability, something Rue couldn't control with a dose. Every time she felt abandoned, her mind equated that feeling with danger, pushing her back toward the one thing that promised consistency: the high. At its core, Rue's addiction was a survival mechanism disguised as self-destruction. It was her way of saying, if the world won't stop hurting me, I'll take charge of how it hurts. But in that pursuit of control, she lost herself, proving that the deeper need wasn't dominance over pain, but acceptance of it. Her need for control came from fear, the fear that if she let go, everything inside her would collapse. She didn't trust the world to hold her, so she tried to hold herself together through the only method she knew. Every relapse wasn't just a failure of willpower, it was a cry for structure, for something predictable in an unpredictable life. Rue's chaos made sense to her because she was the one creating it. Her story exposes how control and addiction often intertwine, how the more someone tries to dominate their pain, the more the pain dominates them. Rue's journey isn't just about substance abuse, it's about emotional survival, learning that control doesn't equal safety and surrender doesn't equal weakness. In the end, what Rue really craved wasn't power over her feelings, but peace within them, a peace that could only come when she stopped running and finally allowed herself to feel. Rue's story is a reminder that sometimes control is just fear wearing armor. Her constant need to manage her emotions showed how terrified she was of being at their mercy. She didn't want to be out of control. She wanted to be untouched by pain. But the truth is, healing required surrender, the one thing she couldn't fake, manipulate, or shortcut. When Rue finally began to face her emotions instead of numbing them, that's when real control started to form, not the kind born from fear, but from understanding. It wasn't about mastering her feelings, it was about making peace with them, one fragile, honest moment at a time.